In today's video, I'm going to show you how a quick pressing can drastically improve the overall appearance of a very low grade and very ugly looking comic. Here we have Amazing Spider-Man 124, the first appearance of Man-Wolf. It's got a great cover, it's a significant book, and it's a great key. But as you see, the copy that I hold in my hand here is littered with creases and wrinkles and moisture damage. I mean, the overall presentation of this book is not good at all. You see these wrinkles are just really, really bad, but stuff like this can be easily pressed out. All you have to do is add some moisture, some steam, and then put it in a hot press for just a few minutes, and then let it sit in the cold press overnight. And I'm going to show you here in just a moment how we can drastically improve the overall appearance of this book. Of course, this is a extremely low-grade copy. It's got chips, it's got color breaks, it has stains. So we're not going to be able to fix any of that with a pressing, but we are going to be able to make this book look much nicer than it currently does. As you see, I mean, this book here has some rusty staples. I mean, this is a very low-grade copy. But since I have it here in my collection, I figured I might as well press it and at least make the cover look as best as possible. Now we're here at my pressing station. The book is prepped and ready to go. We're going to add some moisture to the front cover with the steamer here. Adding moisture will allow the fibers of the paper to open up and soften, and then once we apply the heat and the press, that will iron out all of those creases and wrinkles on the cover and just make this book look so much nicer than it does right now. All right, so it's out of the press now, and of course we didn't work any miracles here, but this thing is nice and flat. As you see, where all those wrinkles and little folds and creases were is nice and flat. So, just a quick press definitely improves, a comic this low of grade, something in this kind of condition. You can really improve the eye appeal with just a quick press. So that's why I enjoy having my press at home. And, I always try to, make the eye appeal and the presentation of certain comics that I get, especially when they're low grade, but they're cool keys or cool books that I want to keep in my collection. And if they're low grade, you might as well make them look as best as possible. So as you see, lots of chipping, a little spine split here. The cover is still attached. The book is fully complete and attached, but it's just a low grade book. But now that we have this pressed, I mean, it is definitely a world of difference. I think it looks much better. And now I put it in a nice Mylar bag with a thick backing board, and I think it just presents so much better. You don't have all that wrinkling, all those creases. I mean, what a better presentation of this book. Like I said, extremely low grade, lots of color breaks, big subscription crease, chipping, split spines. There's a lot of issues with this book, but a quick pressing definitely improves it, looks much better, and I think it will present much nicer in my collection. And our next book here is Ms. Marvel issue number 1. I showed this on a video recently where I just picked this up for, I think, $5. It's a nice key. It's a great book. But this particular issue is extremely warped due to moisture damage. The book itself has no damage, like no chips, no tears, no splitting. The spine is good. It's just extremely wrinkled and creased due to like some moisture warping. So as you see with the reflection of the light, this thing is just extremely wavy. But like the last book, a quick pressing will make this book, I think, present so much nicer. Unfortunately, the back cover definitely has some moisture staining here, some like tide lines, whatever they call that. Lots of moisture damage for sure. Just, with the colorization and the paper itself, there's no actual physical damage, just all that warping.
So we're gonna go ahead and press this one as well, and then we'll see what it looks like. As you see, like I mentioned, lots of warping on the front and the back. I mean, the whole book is pretty wrinkly, and we're gonna press this one and see what happens. Once again, to eliminate moisture damage, we add moisture. So we're gonna go ahead and humidify this book and then press it for 10 minutes with heat and overnight in the cold press. And then we'll come back tomorrow and see what this thing looks like. All right, stay tuned. All right, the Ms. Marvel #1 is out of the press. And as you see, all of those really ugly wrinkles and creases and all that moisture damage is pretty much gone. It's nice and flat. I don't really see any of those wrinkles anymore. You kind of see the reflection of the light. There is like remnants of where the creases were slightly, like right there on top of my thumb. But honestly, most of it is gone. There's a little crease right there. So you can definitely go a little bit more above and beyond what I did. And you can use like a ball bearing or a tack iron, a couple other little tools to really improve some of those creases and little marks that may still be there. But honestly, one quick press and a little moisture, a little steam and press, this thing is much better. As you see, nice and flat, and it just presents so much better. You know, I got this book for $5, and now I feel like the value has definitely increased because of the eye appeal. So now it might be more like a $10, $15, even $20 book, just because all those creases are gone. I did a little bit of work on it. I made it look more presentable, and now somebody will actually want to keep this in their collection. So not too bad on this one. Next up, we have a Marvel Superhero Secret Wars issue #8. Another low-grade copy of a pretty good book. Of course, this one here has some wrinkling and rippling in the cover. You can kind of see that in the reflection of the light. Unfortunately, nothing we can do about this little 1-inch tear at the bottom. But there are some creases and non-color breaking wrinkles here in the cover, as well as the back cover. Actually, the back cover's not horrible. Another little tear there. So this is a lower grade copy for sure. But we're going to go ahead and press this one, and at least it'll be nice and flat. You won't have any of those nasty creases and wrinkles. So let's go ahead, press this one as well, and just turn another ugly book into a little bit more pretty of a book. So here we have the Secret Wars #8 out of the press. I did put it in a Mylar bag and board, and as you see, it is beautiful, nice and flat. All those wrinkles and creases are gone, at least the non-color breaking. As you see, right here, there are color breaks, I should say, where the creases were, and they did break color. And of course, we have this about an inch or so tear at the bottom. There's also that little half-inch tear on the back cover. But overall, I think we made this book look way better. Like I said about the other books, it's all about the presentation, for me at least. You know, I don't want a book in my collection that is just hideous looking. Looks like it should be thrown in the garbage. But books like this, you can't throw these away. You can't just throw this in the garbage. I mean, it's a classic book, a classic cover, so I wanted to do my best to make it look as nice as possible. It's the presentation, I think, is way better than it was before. So here you go, Secret Wars 8. I got this thing for $30. It's like a $200 book in high grade, but I picked this one up for $30. And I think it looks just fine. You know, that tear really does take away from it. But besides this little breakdown here, the rest of the book, from a distance here, looks pretty nice. I was really happy with the way the press came out. The same with all the other books. I feel like just a quick press, overnight in the press, really, really does a world of difference. So there you go.